Konbanwa, Genki desu ka? I hope you are Genki desu. Just going to adjust the camera here a second. I hope you are all well on this Tuesday evening. Hopefully everything is now working. That's not so bad as it was. Technical stuff, that'll do. Okay, so good evening. Welcome to Tuesday evening, and welcome to Karate in Your Own Dojo with Sensei Scoot. Hope you're all well. Hope you're keeping safe and are just okay, really, more than anything else. I think at the moment we feel like we're existing rather than kind of doing anything amazing in life, but we have to keep going, don't we? We have to keep trying everything. So this evening's lesson, we are going to do some grading syllabus. So we're going to work through our syllabus, okay, from beginner towards black belt. We won't be able to do it all tonight, so we'll do some on Thursday as well, and maybe even go into next week, depending on things. So we're going to do various different Kihon techniques, okay, that are part of our syllabus. So we'll go right the way through from white to sort of blue, red, yellow, brown, green, all those different colours. Okay, and where I can, I'll try to tell you what you're doing in terms of that syllabus. So what I'll do is I'll try and take you all through your grading syllabus. Obviously, you'll be able to hopefully look at your OB, okay, and have a look and see what colour you are, and then you can refer to our official syllabus, okay, that Sensei Mark has very kindly done. So this is the Asahi, Shotokan, and Sky England syllabus. Okay, got both our badges on there, our one and the Sky England one are there as well. And within that is a reference guide to your grading. Remember, gradings are not just always as it says in the book. Okay, instructors or your sensei will always basically grade you on what they need to grade you on. So they will look at what they think they need to assess you on. So for instance, if you're a green belt and you've been struggling with your kicks, well then their focus will be on your kicks. Brown belts, if your kata is maybe not so good, then maybe you'll get more katas within your grading. Everything will be appropriate to your grade. So that's the thing to remember. We don't put things in there to kind of scare people or trick you, but it's all in preparation for your downgrading, your black belt grading, which after 4 to 5 years you are ready for. Because of the black belt grading, you literally can be given anything, and so that's really important to have that sort of mindset. We call this a reference guide and Sky grading syllabus. Okay, reference being the right word. Don't think of it as just that book. Okay, think of your mind far broader than that. It's really, really important. So that's the plan for this evening. So we're going to go through that. We'll say hello to a few people, do a warm up, and then we get the lesson going. It's going to be quite an active session this evening. So hopefully that's okay for everybody. So maybe not so much talking, more doing, which is probably a good thing. And then we have some exciting news. Okay, so that's really good. No, we're not going back to Dojo just yet, but we are going to launch the Spring Keiko. So the Spring Keiko is a training session on Saturday, the 27th of March on Zoom. So very similar to our Kangeku. Okay, Kangeku is the midwinter training session that we do every single January, February. Okay, and the Spring Keiko is the new spring course that we're going to be doing annually as well. But we're putting it in at the end of March because we can't have a grading before then. So everybody back together just before the Easter holidays. We'll think they literally start that weekend. So we should all hopefully be rested, at least for an evening, because we finish, I think, on the 26th. So that's the plan. Spring Keiko is going to be in the morning, sort of about 9 till 10:30, so it'll be about an hour and a half training session. Everybody who is part of Asahi, Shotokan Karate and Sky England will be welcome, and obviously some of our other friends, etc. So I'll give you more details about that, but it will be on Zoom because we still can't get back into the dojos. So just a quick hello to a few people. Good evening, Kevin. Good evening, Tim Sensei. Hope all the hucks all kind of well. Good evening, Harry. Hope you're well, young man. Hope you're okay. Just watched the whole of the second of the Mandalorian series, Harry. It was epic, and the finale was even more so. But I don't do spoilers. Okay, us, Andy Sensei, good other Andy Sensei. Good evening, Paul and Lucy. Good evening, Isaac. Good evening, Ken. Good evening, Kayla, and good evening, Michaela and Betsy. Hope you are all well. Okay, so I finished my Lego build. Finally, the pieces arrived thanks to a fantastic company in Europe, Less So Lego, who are useless. Their customer service is just pants. Good evening, Christian. I hope you and Zach are well as well. Nice cat emoji. So here it is. After many a build, ages to build this. This is our Asahi Shotokan corporate company car. Okay, and this has taken me obviously 2 months to build. 1,397 pieces. Pretty impressive. I think you'll find that's a very secure build that Sensei has made, and it's excellent. Very good. Oh, and here's a little one I've been working on earlier. So this is the actual build. In terms of competition winners, the closest to get to it, well, Andy Sensei did get it, but he wasn't part of the competition because, you know, he just guessed everything that was going to be. He went through the whole Lego catalogue, I'm going to be honest. Florence and Casper, so they got the nearest to this. They didn't get it exactly right, but they did say I was building a Porsche. So, yeah, this is the Porsche 911 RSR race car. Possibly the best sounding car on the planet. You know I'm a bit of a petrol head and I do love my cars. This thing, the steering works, the doors open, and even you can open the boot. It's not really the boot, the engine lid, the engine works. The engineering that's been into this, 1,397 pieces, I think it was, and I was missing 2 of them, so I had to wait for Lego to send them to me, or this other company actually. So there you go, that's my Lego build. I've had great fun doing it. Hadn't done a proper Lego build like that since, I don't know, I was probably 12, 13 years old. But I can tell you now, I really enjoy it. That's a Technic Lego set if you're interested, and you can get really good deals on them online, as I did. So well done to Florence and Casper. I will make sure that I have a gift for you both, which I will bring to the dojo next time we see each other. Okay, so let's get the lesson going. We'll do a formal bow, okay, and then we'll do the warm-up, and we'll get that lesson going, okay? Awesome. So actually, let's do the warm-up first. Wait. Okay, so star jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, running on the spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And bouncing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, arms back. 1, 2, 3, 4, go. And forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, go. Left arm forwards, right arm back. 1, 2, 3, 4, go. And change. 1, 2, 3, 4, go. Arms out. 1, 2, 3, 4, cross it over. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, right arm across. Each. Left arm knee. Pulling down san. Pulling down shi. Tekubi. Sorry, ubi. Tekubi. 1. Ijiate. Ata. Shoulders. Okay, just relaxing. Okay, arms out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Hands to the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. And up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Okay, forwards. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Very, very good. Senko Tadachi. Front stance. Okay, just relax your hip. Just relax your hip. Okay, so hip hat showman. Okay, so remember this is square and then hammy. Hey, showman, hammy, showman, hammy, showman, hammy, showman, hammy. Okay, change legs. Square, showman, hammy, showman, hammy, showman, hammy, showman, hammy. Very good, very good. Okay, hips round. Koshi, 1, 2, 3, 4, go. And the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, go. Okay. 8 knees together, feet together, high sukadachi. Okay, so just bend the knees, flexing down. As low as you can go. I'm not very flexible. Too much knee surgery. Okay. So take the weight out of the knees. Remember, let the hips drop to gain your balance. Arms up, knee up, and go through. Sensi mark. And balance. Okay, back to position. Keep the knee up, keep the knee up, keep the knee up, keep the balance. And foot down. Okay, good, good, good. Again, reset. Remember, hips, gravity. Just let them drop down. Hands up, knee up. Through and balance. Okay, very good. Keep the balance. Foot down. Awesome. Okay. We had an excellent black belt session on Saturday, which was really, really good. For one reason and one reason only. For me, I wasn't teaching. It was fantastic. Thoroughly enjoyed it. We did Teki Sandan Kata, which was superb. So it's one of my favourite katas. So really, really enjoyed that session on Saturday. So if you're one of our downgrades and you're over 16, you can join us on Zoom every Saturday morning. Okay, we meet at 10 a.m. For about an hour and a half, I think. Good hard training, and then we have a cup of tea or coffee together, have a chat, catch up, etc. But you do need to be an adult, okay? Not open for juniors at the moment. And so, as I said earlier, the spring Keiku, the spring training session will be on Saturday, the 27th of March, 9 a.m. start, finish around 10:30. So massively looking forward to that. Okay, please straighten your gi and obi. Let's go. She's up. Shomani, ready? Sensei, you ready? Os. I'm ready. Os. Hey, os. Excellent, very good. Okay, right, so let's get started. So tonight's lesson in Kihon, okay? Syllabus, reference guide, okay? Your Bible of karate, okay? Important that you look at this, you read this, you digest this, okay? What this does then is give you a basis for understanding the moves that you're going to be asked in your gradings, okay? But it is not what you're necessarily going to get per se, okay? The grading, as I said earlier, is always focused on you as an individual and your needs, okay? And that's really, really important. So we have a history, write down notes, comments about your gradings, okay? And then I look at those, and so do the other instructors, and we read to see if we need to adjust things for your grading to sort of maybe improve kicks, blocks, etc., etc. And that's the way we build up a picture of you to the point where you get your downgrading and you're ready, hopefully, to take your black belt grading. Okay, so we're going to move forwards and backwards. So I probably know more than 3 forwards because I haven't got room for 5, I don't think. Okay, traditionally in our gradings, we always do 5 forward, 5 back. Okay, and the reason for that is to give you 5 opportunities to get your technique better, okay? Not perfect. We don't ever look for perfection. We seek perfection, but we are unlikely to ever achieve it. But that doesn't stop us striving for it. That's one of our virtues for karate. So we're going to do probably 3 forward and 3 back of each technique, okay, once we've started moving forwards and backwards. So that's the room you'll need. Going sideways, you can either go forwards or backwards, or if your dojo's wider, you can go and face the other way, okay? I might change, so I can do 3 steps forward, 3 steps back, this way and this way, just so to show you and demonstrate things, okay? And then I'll tell you what I think, what level it's appropriate for. I hope that's okay. So we'll start with, as we do all gradings, with formal standing bow. So most subadachi, feet together, heels touching and feet turned out, hands by your side, and hey, hey, oi. Okay, so I'm just going to come forward because this first few techniques we're in Sonoba. Sonoba's standing position, okay? So we're not moving forwards and backwards. So let's start with just Chokuzuki, straight punch, okay? From 10th kyu, that's your blue belt grading, or from a white belt, okay? So for beginner, this is what you're doing in your first lesson. It's also what you'll do first in your grading. Again, for higher grades, it's a really good start to any grading. Okay, so punching. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roll, siege, haj, go, jo. Excellent. Okay, so now higher grades, obviously, you can hip. Okay, so as I punch, my hip puts the punch in. So just higher grades, maybe probably higher grade brown belts and black belts will certainly know what I'm talking about. So you kick the hip. Okay, so as I punch the right hand, the right hip snaps back. Okay, gives the punch a little bit more power and shows your understanding. So the development of your grade. White belts don't do that. White belts just punch. Black belts understand. Hip is really important, even in Sonoba. Okay, so 10 times medium speed, fast speed. Black belts using the goshi, the hip. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.はい、やめ。はい、気をつけ。はい、押す。はい、よーい。Okay, Haisukudachi is a fit together stance. Okay, for technique 2. Okay, and again, this forms part of our syllabus within Asahi Shotokan Karate and Sky England. We are one of the same. Okay, so kicking maigeri, so just chudangeri. Okay, and you're looking for the center of your body. So forget my camera angle. Okay, I try to kick towards the camera lens, but I'm also trying to make sure that I'm in shot. Now, I'm not moving at the moment, so hopefully this will be dead straight for you. Okay, although whenever you're looking at 3 lenses, it's difficult to know which one is the correct one. So kicking just the center, make sure you bring your knee up. Okay, kick, control the kick straight back down. And as I said last week, try to feel the technique. Feel the technique stops us looking at the floor. There's nothing on the floor. Okay, I always clean the dojos before you come in, or actually the other instructors do, but I always check the floor. Okay, there's no money or anything down on there because I've been through it. So it's really important to just focus on the kick itself. If you look straight ahead, I knew the dog was going to come and do that. If you look straight ahead, that's right, then your kick will follow where you're looking. Okay, same with punches, etc., etc. Okay, so high sukudachi position. There your hips drop. Okay, take the weight out of the knees. Don't bend them, force them so. So just relax, let your shoulders drop. Keep your arms relaxed, okay? Keep them to the side of your body. So kicking, center, maigeri, sonoba. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And down. Okay, and bow. Us. Very good. Okay, I'm going to turn to the side. Okay, but you can still do this is fun. And now we do the same kick, Sonobigeri, but from Zenkutsudachi. Zenkutsudachi. So step back, get on right. Each. Okay, put your hands aside for kicking. Okay, and you're going to kick maigeri right leg 5 times. So migigeri 5 times to the center. Again, just to the stomach. Okay, and kick and step back. Kick and step back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, はい、go! Okay, now I'm going to face the other way. Kicking left foot, left leg, hidari, 1, 2, keep the knee bent, 3, 4, hidari, go!はい、やめ。はい、気をつけ、はい、押す。はい、やめ。In. Okay, good. So far, Chokuzuki, Sonobigeri, Haisukudachi, and Zenkutsudachi, Sonobigeri, kicking maigeri, step back. Okay, very good, very good. Amrei, os. Hai, yo. Step forward, Gidambarai, Kamai, Kiai. Ich, iya. Okay, so check your hips at hand me. Okay, so basic white belts, not so worried about this, blues, reds, etc., oranges. But when we start to move up from high grades, we start to think about the hip position. Okay, so we're going to punch forward Oizuki. Oizuki stepping punch. Okay, so coming through the Oi position and punching down the center. Again, forgive the camera angles. In fact, I'm only ever going to get 2 forward here. I'm not going to get 3, am I? So it's important to focus on where you're punching us. Okay. The trouble is with the 0.5 lens, it's like a goldfish lens, so it makes things look a little bit skew-with. So Zenkutsudachi position, please, and punching forwards just 2 times, not 3 or 5. Kizamuzuki punching to the stomach. 1, 2, Hey, good. And turn Gedambarai. Ich. And 2 punches back. Ich. Ni. Hey, turn Gedambarai. Okay, so now if you are a higher grade, so maybe sort of yellow belt and above, I'd like to do 2 punches. 2 punches. So Oizuki Yakuzuki figure. So step forward. Ich. Bow center. Ni. Hey, turn Gedambarai. Hey. And ich. Hey, hey, turn Gedambarai. Hey, yamai. Hey, right, us. Inoi. Hey, relax. Very good. So, Oizuki. Remember, we did a lot of this last week in particular because we practiced this technique certainly on the Tuesday session. Punching central, okay? Come through the Oi position, the halfway position here, maintain the same height, try not to bob up and down. Keep the hand connected to the hip and punch. If I just step back and show you from this side, okay? So again, hips at hand me. Look at where we're going to. Position. Keep this connected until your foot and leg, goes through. So your hip is driving this to the end. Don't come away from the hip too soon. Okay, keep everything concise and together. This is really important. Again, less so as a beginner. Let's go at the beginner stage. We're kind of in karate. We're just practicing the moves. Okay, but it's important to make sure this is connected together. Connected together. Us. Okay. So us. Our next punch then, slightly more advanced, Gyakuzuki. So Gyakuzuki is the reverse punch. Okay, so again, make sure you have room for 2 forwards and 2 back. So rei, us, hey, yoi. Hey, step forward, Gedambarai, kamai, ich, hiya. Okay, punch on the spot, Gyakuzuki. So reverse punch. So Gyaku means reverse, opposite side. So if your left leg, Hidari Ashi is out, Migi Wan is out, opposites. Us. So when we step forward, keep this connected to the hip. Come through the Oi position. Bring the hip back to drive the punch home down the center. Make sure, again, your focus, your embusun, your performance line, you are focusing down on that center. Come through your Oi position here. Keep it connected, and only push it with the hip. Hey, turn, Gedambarai. Mawate, us. Punch on the spot, Gyakuzuki, ish. Hey, Gyakuzuki back, ich. Hey, ni. And Wate turn. Hey, yabai. So when you're grading, okay, and your instructor is 5 back, okay, so your Kihon point is here, okay, and then you hear the word mawate. Mawate is Japanese for turn, okay. So from here, your back leg comes across, Gedambarai position, and Gedambarai. And so you just go back to Gedambarai every time, even as a higher grade. Turn Gedambarai. If you're then into Judachi because you're doing higher grade syllabus, that's fine, but always turn Gedambarai, okay? For me, I always turn with a little bit of a ki, but not a loud one, okay? Just to sort of reset myself, my mind, more than anything. It's a reminder. Turn, hey, ready again, okay? So your ki, remember, is an expression of your spirit, of the way that you do and enjoy karate. It doesn't have to always be it doesn't have to be that all the time. Sometimes, hey, just enough, okay, to reset the brain, reconnect with your karate and your techniques. I think sometimes when we do this syllabus training and we do something wrong, very often it's the case that as human beings, our heads drop and we just like, oh, that was not a good punch, okay? But it wasn't a good punch that way. But when we mawate turn, hey, we reset to make the next set better. Ali-san. That's right, you ignore me, just go straight for the food. Brilliant. Okay, so that is Gyakuzuki, reverse punch. Okay, very good, very good. Hamre, us. Excellent. Us. Hey, yoi. Okay, so another thing we're going to do now is going to go back to the hachidachi, a shizentai stance, open leg stance. Okay, and we're going to go to Kizamuzuki Yakuza. Now, this is part of the sort of yellow green belt syllabus, so it's slightly more advanced. So you've been training for 6 months more. Okay, so rather than doing Shokuzuki from a stationary Sonoba position, we're going to move the front leg forward as we punch, move the front leg forward as we punch, and Kizami Yakuzuki. Then we return back to Shizentai, and then we alternate the other side. So we do these 10 times. Now, your first punch, okay, remember the hand comes from the hip, punch to your chin, okay? So, and then your second punch to your stomach, Chudanzuki, and then come back here to Shizentai to reconnect, restart, okay? So, right, you always, so Kizami Yakuzuki, step forward, Gidan Barai, ich, and then back, because this one you do from this position, so it does sometimes get a little bit misleading, confusing, etc. Try to listen to your instructor, okay, and they will tell you what you're doing. If for any reason at a grading you're not sure what you're doing, you just put your hand up. Sensei, could you please explain? Okay, where possible, we've always tried to use Japanese, okay, to explain what we would like students to do, particularly from green belt and above. But likewise, step forward, front punch to the head, reverse punch to the stomach. We can do both of those. So, what's your position? So from here, Jodanzuki, ich, and back here, knee. So each time from this position, the hand comes back to the hip. 1, 2. Use the hips. Bring your elbows in. Ich, knee. Ich, knee. Ich, knee. Okay, so 6 times. Ich, hayame, knee. Hayame, song. Yame, shi. Hayame, go. Hayame, kiai, ro. Hiya. Hayame. And right, os. Hey, Inoi. Hey, relax. Okay, good. Relax. Reset. Okay, that's our basic punches done. Okay, within the context of some of our syllabus. As I said, not going to be able to do everything this evening, but want to be able to get you back into the mindset of doing your techniques forward and backwards, practicing these at home, because hopefully we will be back in the dojos. And before we know it, we'll be into a grading situation again, okay? So if we are able to come back to the dojos in April, then we would like to do a grading no later than June, okay? We normally do March, June, September, December. We didn't have any gradings last year, if you remember correctly, apart from the October one. We managed to squeeze one in October before the second lockdown. So always have that in mind, okay? I'm very keen to support people who've been training with us throughout the coronavirus pandemic. Whether it be online, whether it just be watching, whether it be coming back into the dojos and we were able to do so, and people who haven't been but still want to keep learning. That's what I wanted to be there for. The last grading we had was superb, particularly even though we've been in a pandemic. People's techniques were superb. I mean, really, really good. Okay, right. So let's now focus on some of our uki, so some of our blocks. Okay, so we predominantly focus on the 5 major blocks of Shotokan karate. So Agi-uki uprising block, Soto-uki outside forearm block, Uchi-uki inside forearm block, Gidan-barai downward sweeping block, and Shutoki knife hand block. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll probably do those this evening, and then we'll start putting in the kicking combinations on Thursday if we get that far. If we don't, then there's no pressure. So, first of all, let's do it from a white belt perspective. Okay, so yoi, step forward, Gidan-barai, ich. Okay, so stepping forward, Agi-uki, upper rising block, Agi-uki. Okay, so remember your yoi position, remember your hips. Okay, remember that the block as it comes through comes into the center, the elbow tucks in, and then we push up. Okay, this is really important that you keep it part of the body, you don't swing your arm. Because that's completely the wrong technique and just not right, full stop. So keep it in the correct position. So that's right. Hey, yoi, step forward, Gidanbarai. Ich. So, yoi position. Step through, yoi position here. Keep it connected. Don't move it. Don't move anything yet because your feet are just coming through this yoi position here. Come in and block. Yoi position. Open your hand. Come through again. Keep connected. Keep connected to the hip. Come through and block. Horse. Okay, stepping backwards. Ich. Hey, knee. Not this. Not this. This is incorrect. Horse. Incorrect. Okay, so again, just forwards once more, all the way through. Ich. Ni. San. Shi. Okay. Hey. Done correctly, this is a very effective block. Done incorrectly, get punched in the face. Happened to me quite a few times. So think about the block and how you do it. Okay, so now we'll do it as if we were going up to say maybe green belt. So yellow belt, going for grading for green belt. So 7th to 6th Q is the correct grading syllabus. Okay, so right, horse. And in this time, step down, Agiyuki Yakuzuki Gidanbarai. Okay, so this is a 3-technique, 3-waza, okay, combination. So first of all, your position stays the same. The block is exactly the same. You don't change anything there at all. You still finish your technique every time. So come through. Agiyuki Yakuzuki Gidanbarai. Again, your position, come through. Agiyuki Yakuzuki Gidanbarai. Os Thomas, good evening, young man. Hope you're well. Stepping back. Agiyuki Yakuzuki Gidanbarai. Agiyuki Yakuzuki Gidanbarai. Hey, yame. Hey, way. Okay, so that's the block itself, just the basic block is 10th, 9th, 8th Q syllabus. 7th and 6th Q syllabus is the block, punch, block combination. 5th Q and above, okay, so moving up the grade. So now I'm sort of moving towards green, white, purple, white, etc., purple graps. Okay, we remove a technique, which a lot of people think, well, how come it gets easier? That doesn't make sense then. So we do 1 technique, we do 3, and then we do 2. Well, there's a difference here, and that is it's more about the understanding of where you are in your technique and moving forward. So let me demonstrate. So, right, yoi, step forwards, Gidanbarai, ich. Okay, so this one is just Agiyuki upper rising, not reverse punch. Yoi position, same as before, keep this all connected. So this is very much about driving that hip home. But then you must change your arms. You have to refocus where the body is, where the block is, where the positions are. Back to hand me here, come through. Agiyuki, ya, Yakuzuki. Reset, come back, ich. Reset, ish. Reset. Reset each time. So whilst it's only 2 techniques compared to the previous 3, you can see it's more advanced because we have to reconnect the brain and the body to show that the legs are changing. The block is changing to get it connected correctly with what we want to do. Moving forwards again. Staying with Agiyuki, staying with upper rising block. Now we're looking at the brown belt to black belt, okay, combinations. This is blocking, then we're kicking back leg maigeri, okay, snap kick, Yakuzuki, okay. So I'll demonstrate. Yoi, and step forward, Gidanbarai, kamai, ich, Okay, so from this position then, Agiyuki, same as before. This all stays the same. You don't change anything with your basic block. You don't need to. Then kick maigeri, Yakuzuki. Change, reconnect, Agiyuki, maigeri, Yakuzuki. And here we're looking for that connection between the kick and the hip driving that punch through. It's a different sort of hip than we've been doing previously because we've been rotating the hip. This is more of a push hip through. Okay, so connect the kick and the punch. So as the foot steps down, maybe demonstrated better this way. So we do the basic block here. Check your in-hand knee, same as before. Stay focused, okay? Kick in here. Maigeri, Yakuzuki. Maigeri, Yakuzuki. So you're connecting. Not as good. Not as good. Not as good. Makes sense. We're trying to maximize the technique, trying to maximize the speed, the power, everything. And making connections. That was built making connections. Thousands of them. Yeah, literally thousands of them. Lots of tiny connections, some of them big connections, but connections nevertheless. And they created that, which I think is quite impressive. It's got a working engine, working steering, working suspension. Karate is the same as Lego. That's why I use that analogy a lot. Okay, I hope people understand it. Karate is about tiny connections and big connections, and ultimately making something come together. It's probably most noticeable when you do your basics in terms of Kihon for your gradings. Okay, when you do your kumite sets and when you do your kata. Kata is probably the ultimate viewing sort of a visual point of seeing it all come together. When you see katas like Unsu, Go to Shiho Sho, Go to Shiho Dai done, you see lots of different really cool technical and basic technique put together to make a giant Lego piece, etc. You know, thousands of bricks, thousands of pieces to karate, very similar. So you take your time when you're building that sort of thing. You start from one piece, connecting to another piece, and then you add pieces on. But every time you add a piece on, your first bricks have to be the same as your 50th brick, the same as your 1000th brick. I hope that makes sense. That's why I keep saying to you that when we do the Agyuki, that does not change. That has to be the same. Some people, though, they think the block's now not so important. Sensei's concentrating on the kick and the punch. No, Sensei's concentrating on all of those elements. Okay, so how you join them together is really, really super important. Okay, so that hopefully Lego model will stay together, okay, for ages because of the way it's been built. Lots of time, and I do mean a lot of time, has been put into building it, okay, solidly, not weakness, okay, strength is really important, okay. So our basic Agi-Uki techniques then, okay, right? So we're going to step forwards all the way through the syllabus. Step forward, get and right, each. Okay, so stepping forward then as if we are white, blue, red, orange belt. Agi-Uki, each. Knee, hi, here. Hey, stepping back, each. Hey, knee, here. Okay, so remember now, yellow, green belt syllabus, we're doing block, punch, block. So again, moving two forwards, keep the first technique the same. Do not ever lose that. Yeah, us. Keep your bricks solid. Each. Knee. Hiya. Stepping back. Each. Hiya. Knee. Hiya. Yummy. Okay, sorry. Us. No, yummy. Stay. Let's continue. Sukte. Okay, Agi-Uki. Each. And blocking, knee, hiya, stepping back, Agi-Uki, ich, Maigeri Yakuzuki, knee, hiya, yummy. All right, that wasn't how I wanted to demonstrate it. This is how I wanted to demonstrate it. Hiya. So just not the block. Think of each individual technique. So we're going to do 4 techniques, 1 of each, okay? Ish, ni, san, shi, aya. Change legs. Ich, aya, ish, ni, san, shi. So I'm sensei, that took me 3 goes to get that right. I can't even do 3 goes, 4 goes to get that correct. When you're teaching, sometimes you do things that you don't say, and sometimes you do things that you wish you said. Okay, so the idea was to do 1 of each one, 2 4s and 2. Anyway, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. My mind changed, I think, halfway through that in terms of what I was actually wanting to do. Human being, make mistakes. Okay, same though, exactly the same. Step forward, get under right. Hey, Agyuki. So same again, Agyuki. Those are just 2 additional moves. Same again, Agyuki. Same, yeah, does that make sense? I hope that does. Your Agyuki should never change. Your Agyuki is your Agyuki. Okay, whether you're a beginner or 10th dan black belt, grandmaster of everything in the world. Okay, so try to keep that in your head when you're training. Really, really good if you could. Awesome. Okay, so that's Agyuki all the way through. So just the Uki block. I did say unlikely we're going to get much further than the blocks this evening, but that's good because that gives us Thursday to do the kicks, which are a bit more complex. Okay, the kicking combinations that we've got within our syllabus, I think, are a little bit more difficult. So we'll continue now with Soto Uryuki. So this is outside forearm block. So again, we'll do it from a basic position. Okay, it's from 10th, 8th, and 9th and 8th Q syllabus. Then we'll do it 7th, 6th. Then we'll do it 5th Q up to 3rd Q, 3rd Q above us. Okay. Sorry, os. Hey, yoi. And stepping forward, Gidan each. Hey. Okay, so Soto Uryuki. Probably the most important thing. Again, we're not paying attention on this evening, but just a quick reminder is this shoulder. Yeah, Agyuki is saying the shoulder stays down. Agyuki shoulder doesn't come up. Soto Uryuki shoulder doesn't come up. Shoulder stays where it is. Okay, and this is going to come across the body. Don't come too far and don't stop too soon. Okay, so if I do the correct side, you'll see it correct position. Okay, so just basic Kihon, Soto Uryuki outside forearm block, 2 forward, 2 back. Os. Right, os. Hey, yoi. Hey, step forward, get under right. Right, ichiyo. Okay, so Soto Uryuki. Take your time, keep your position comfortable, keep that handy. Ish. Hey, yoi position, knee. Okay, so remember, you're a white belt. Okay, there's nothing wrong with being a white belt. It's good because it's when you're very karate and it's a super exciting time. Step in back. Each. Yoi position. Don't forget your shoulders. Don't forget your hips at hand me. Yeah, come back. Ish. Hey, yummy. Yummy. If you look at my obi, my belt, okay, my obi is, I think I ordered this in Japan in 2004 when I was there at the Shoto World Cup at the Budokan in Tokyo. It's probably the most famous karate competition in the world. Also, Michael Jackson played there. Apparently, that was a cool thing as well for the Japanese. But the Budokan is very famous. There is a judo dojo built as part of it, as part of its history. But it's a fantastic venue. And it's sometimes referred to as the Octagon. And I very fortunately came across a company that I was able to order this belt through, and got this ordered there. So this belt is about 17, 18 years old, 2004 I went, so it's quite a long time, it's about 17 years old now. And you can see that my belt is returning to white, very similar to my hair, which has got grey bits in it. So karate is a circle of life, okay? We start as white belts, and we really, if I'm honest, it doesn't take this long. Yes, you're a constant white belt. Okay, you should never think of yourself as anything much more than that, really. It's really important, because if you suddenly think, well, I'm a black belt, you then think you don't need to learn. And you do need to learn in karate, you just don't ever stop. So I always refer to myself as a long-term white belt, okay? And my belt is starting to show that now. And that's really, really important mindset, okay? There is never a day when you can't learn. So my students will tell you, and particularly my instructors, that I sometimes watch the children train, and I look at what they're doing, and I'm just thinking, wow. And something in my head suddenly connects. I see what they do. They don't know they're doing it. I haven't got a clue what I've just done. But in my mind, they're just giving me a little bit of gold dust. okay, and it's made my karate better. Well, that's why I teach. That's why I teach. Well, I teach to learn and be better. I don't teach because I enjoy teaching. I enjoy learning. Okay, it may sound crazy that teachers don't. That they're teaching people to learn, but no, we're learning from you. Okay, and I do honestly mean that. So, Soto Uryuki. Don't forget the basic block. Hey, yoi, step forward, get umbrake, mate. Ish. So now sort of 7-6 combination. So this is Soto Ryuki, Yakuzuki, get umbrake. Okay, so yoi position, the block stays the same, the hips are at hand-me. Yoi position pointing to where you're going, blocking each. Ni, san. Remember your shoulders, yoi position. Start again, keep the shoulders down, hips at hand-me, hands to foot. Blocking, punching, ayah. 8, stepping back. Ich, ni, san, ish, ni, san, yame. And os, yoi. Okay, so moving on from that position now to sort of 5th cue and above. So we're moving green, white, purple, bear, etc. Moving forwards, right? Hey, yoi, step forward, get umbrake, my ish, hey. Hey, so, Tomoryuki Yakuzuki. Ish. Yoi, me. Hiya. Yeah, so make sure you get into your ready positions. You key-eyed, make sure you get to your ready position. Yoi, ish. Hiya. Yoi, hiya. Hiya, me. And os. Hey, oi. Okay, so from 3rd cue moving up to 2nd, 1st cue, Shodan. Okay. A nice little change in my favorite combination in all the Shotokan karate basics from Kihon. I absolutely love doing this technique. Always have done ever since I was taught it as a 3rd cue, I think it was. It's just a lot of fun. There's a lot of body movement. We're using different stances, different techniques, which makes it for me very interesting. So, right? Yoi, but the basic stays the basic. Soto Uryuki. Step forward, get umbrake. Ish. Okay, so move 1. Soto Uryuki stays the same. Zenku Tsudachi. Hips at hand-me. Slide using Suri. Yoko Impyuchi. Kibadachi. So side stance now. Side stance here. Yurakan Gyakuzuki. Okay, so from here. So Yoko Suri Impyuchi here. Slide inside elbow. I know the camera angle makes this look weird, but it's the fisheye lens. I apologize. I am going to where I should be. Here, Yurakan Gyakuzuki. And your Yurakan is the same as your elbow. Okay, this is really important. So you focus on where this goes. I'm sorry the camera angle doesn't quite show that, but I promise you I'm doing it correctly. This is my favorite technique after all. So, Soto Ryuki, Yokanpi, Yurakan, Gyakuzuki, ya. Stepping back. Soto Ryuki, Zenku Tsudachi, not Kibadachi. This is cheating if you do that. Okay, and I will spot it. Yoko Suri Impyuchi, Yurakan Gyakuzuki, Yoi, step back, Zenku Tsudachi, Yoko Suri Impyuchi, Yurakan, Aya, Ayame. So for me, it's the feel of this coming around someone's leg to Yoko Impyuchi them to then back fist and punch. It's just a beautiful combination. Gets your hips going, gets every bit of you going. Stance change as well, from front stance to side stance, back again, which mixes this all up. It's really, really good combination. But for me, I've really kind of, be it all my favorite combination, only the last few years have I really connected with the Yurakan Uchi. Okay, Yurakan Uchi was one of my favorite scoring techniques in Jukumite, fighting. But as a basic Kihon technique, I always felt I was letting myself down. It wasn't my targeting, but what I was doing was tensing too soon. And what often would happen is I'd actually pull my bicep down here and possible minor tears. Nothing too big, but basically was just not controlling this as a part of the body correctly. And it was after many, many lessons with Akita Sensei that I learned how to truly do Yurakan Uchi. I've been doing karate for probably 25 years at that point. So an awful long time, but not really getting that technique. So now my favourite combination has become even better because I've got the Irakan correct, and that is to relax and then control it as you punch. So there is no tension put here. Tension is put through here, through the whole being. And so I don't get those injuries anymore. And it was just a eureka moment within one of the lessons that he did when he came over to England, or we were in one of the courses somewhere with him, because we've been very fortunate to travel the world with him, that I picked up what he was talking about, Irakan. And then I trained with Matsuda Sensei, and he reinforced that technique. And it was really good for me. You have those little moments in karate where something suddenly connects. The first time I was in Japan, it was Yushiro-geri with Suzuki Sensei, with the Kanazawa Honbu Dojo in Kugahara. I'd always done Yushiro-geri, I thought quite good, but what I was really doing was not a back kick, it was more of a spinning back kick. And so I was losing my effectiveness and power, and I learned there with him how to do a proper back kick that would drop someone where they stand. So we have these little moments, And as I say, you don't need to be training with someone famous, you can be training with a beginner. Okay, and they suddenly do something, and you suddenly connect with you, and you think, wow, that's cool. Okay, so let's do a combination of those techniques from each grade. Step forward, Gidan Ish. So just basic Soto Uryuki. Each. And again, say ni. Stepping back. Soto Uryuki Gakuzuki Gidan Barai. Each. Ni. So, stepping forwards. Soto Uryuki Gakuzuki. Each. Ni. Stepping back. Soto Uryuki. Each. Ni. Eya. Hey, yame. Yame. Okay, so very good. So we've done so far basic punches, zuki, okay, and we've also done some kicking, some geri but sonoba, standing position, and then we've done basic agi uki and soto uryuki with the combinations that go through to up to dan going, beginner to dan grade. So we've done quite a lot tonight, actually. I was quite surprised that we've done everything, which is quite good. Okay, so remember, this is in your syllabus book. If I get to the junior part of the syllabus, you see that we have a 10th Q grade in there for juniors. Okay, and first technique, Chokuzuki Sonoba, standing. Maegeri Sonoba, standing. Oizuki, stepping punch, moving forwards, lunge punch, or Junzuki, sometimes represented. Agiuki, upper rising block, Soto Ryuki, which we've done, Uchiuki, which we're to do, Gidan Barai, which we're to do, and then the Kata Taikyoku Shodan. And that is the 10th Q syllabus, okay, for juniors. So this is anyone up to the age of 16. Moving on to the other grades, red belt, orange belt, so in other words, 8th Q. Then we come down to your green belt grading, so grading for 6th Q, and you can see that we do those same techniques, Chokuzuki, Sonoba Geri, etc. Then we put in the Oizuki and the Gakuzuki, you know what we did earlier, and then we start to make those combinations, block, punch, block, okay? This is all laid down, and Sensei Mark has done an incredible job of doing this in Japanese and English, okay? There's a glossary at the back with all the different Japanese words, so you know what they mean, okay? This book is really good. It's super useful, and shows you how to tie your obi, shows you the different color belts that we do, because they vary from association to association, okay? There's all the different sets that we do. There's how to make a correct fist. There's the history of Shotokan karate, very brief history, and just lots of information, really, that is not just designed to get you through a grading. It's designed to help you learn karate. That's what we want it to be. That's why we called it a reference guide and not just a syllabus book. It is a syllabus book, but it's a guide. It's a guide. My sensei always said it's your Bible. Remember it. Learn it upside down. So as an instructor, that's exactly what I did. I literally regurgitated it. So when I went to gradings, there was nothing that was going to shock me. They might change the order, they might change a technique, but they didn't put me off because I knew what was in there. Okay, And I think that's really, really important to sort of remember that stuff. So let's just have a quick recap of what we've learned this evening. So left arm out, Chokuzuki just 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just as a quick warm down, we'll do this. Sonobegeri. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Hey, yo. Step forward, get on right. 1. Hey, kick in on the spot, Maigeri. 1. Change legs. 2. And step back. Yummy. Hey, yo. Step forward, get on right. 1. Here. Oizuki, stepping punch. Ish. And stepping punch back. 2. Oizuki, Yakuzuki. Ish. And 2. Yakuzuki, step forwards. Ish. What's? You still with me? And 2. Okay. Hey, yummy. Step forward, get on right. Ish. Agyuki. Ish. Agyuki. Yakuzuki, get on right. Agyuki, Yakuzuki. Agyuki, Geri, Yakuzuki. Soto Ryuki. Ichi. Soto Ryuki. Yakuzuki, get on right. Soto Ryuki. Yakuzuki. Soto Ryuki. Yoko Soryempi, Yarakin, Yakuzuki. Hey, I'm ready. Hey, noi. Okay, so remember our focus this evening has just been on Kihon. Okay, so our basics. And we will continue on Thursday with Uchi Uki, Gidambarai, and Shutoki, and Nego. As I said, I hope these lessons help, okay, in terms of just really kind of jigging your head and making you kind of getting ready for coming back in the dojos, hopefully, which I truly hope will be not too many weeks away now. Remember, we've got the spring keiku. Okay, keiku in Japanese is for means training. So we have the game kangeiku, which is the midwinter training, which was early part of February, and then we're going to have the spring keiku at the end of March, which is just literally is the Easter holiday start for young people, for students, etc. So that's on the 27th. I'll put an official thing up on the Facebook page and on our website as well. If you've not visited our website in a while, there's some stuff on there that's worth looking at. There's the Dojo-kun, there's various different things, history about karate, where our dojos are when we can get back, and news and information stuff. There's a link to our YouTube videos as well. But it's www.asahishotokan.co.uk. So I've changed the website name. It used to be potandkarate.org.uk, but I've recently changed the domain name to sort of fit in with what we're doing now. Pot and Karate was my original dojo. Okay, so that's really good if you have a look at that, because I build it on my own. It's okay, but I could do with some tips. If people think it needs changing, that'd be great. The Facebook page is very limited at the moment because of European law. It's not our fault. It's just the way things are since Brexit, etc. So I can't put as much information on there as I used to, and the interaction with you, I think, is not as good. Keiku, remember, the spring Keiku will be on Zoom, okay, so not on YouTube. So I will do that. Similar to what we did before with the Kangeiku, I think. People just need to contact me and I'll give you the link for it, if that's okay. Okay, so thanks ever so much for joining me in the dojo this evening. I hope you've enjoyed the lesson. I've really enjoyed doing it. It's quite hard to do this, just keep going forwards and backwards without seeing you watching techniques and altering people's stances and saying change this and change that. It's very much sensei focused, but it's good for me. It's really good for me. I'm getting so much out of it, making me think a lot about myself and the way that I train. Thanks so much for your comments. They're always really nice. That's very kind of you. And I massively appreciate it. And I massively appreciate you keeping training. If you're a black belt, please remember we meet every Saturday morning now at 10 a.m. With a black belt Yudansha get-together session on Zoom. This weekend we did Teki Sandan, which was brilliant. It was a really good lesson taught by Sensei Wayne. Thoroughly enjoyed it because I wasn't teaching. And it was just really nice to relax and just enjoy doing the kata, of which we did it probably 30, 40 times. It was excellent, excellent session. Continue as we are on Zoom and on YouTube. Until probably May, if I'm honest. But we'll just keep going. Well done to Florence and Casper on at least winning a prize for our Lego competition. Didn't quite get it, but thank you all for everyone for having a good go at it as well. Okay, Kyosuke, let's do the Dojo Kon to finish the lesson. Dojo Kon. Hitotsu Jinkan Kokansei ni Suramuto Koto. Hitotsu Makato no Michi o Momoru Koto. Hitotsu Doryoku no Seishin Yashinau Koto. Hitotsu Reigyo o Monju Koto. Hitotsu Keki no yo Imashimuru Koto. Show me, right? Sensei, right? Domo arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you so much, as always, for joining me. Look forward to seeing you on Thursday and getting ourselves ready for the weekend. Thank you so much, Us. Hopefully it was a good refresher, Paul. Yeah, I'm pleased that you and Lucy enjoyed that lesson. And thanks so much again, everybody. Oisumasai arigatou gozaimasu. Jamatane. See you soon.